Hi friends, good morning Saral traders. Today I'm going to make this video on modification to the counter trend system that I made. Now, the why I made this system is primarily because a lot of people reached out to me, especially folks who don't want to take much risk. That they needed a little bit more safer system with less drawdown and more safety. So we looked at it and we in this system we will only trade leading sector indexes. Now sector indexes, their ETFs, are primarily made up of the leading companies of that sector. And Because they are leading companies in that sector, the risk is diversified. Secondly, you know that because these are indexes, these are leading companies, they have a margin of safety included in them. And because it's an index, also the rise and fall is not too risky in the sense that one company even goes to zero, other companies are going to balance it, and then the new company will be added in the index, and in the overall long-term basis, you have a chance of getting out, unlike stocks which can typically go 90% down. So we have backtested this system, and there is a modification that we have made here is that in the RSI new system, we have kept the targets very small. We are going to keep the target of only 3%. And the system will buy every time there is a buy trigger. There is going to buy, say, worth of $5,000, and we will initiate the first RSI when the first buy when the RSI reaches 35 level. Okay, you can always modify this. It can be 30, 40, whatever is your. So we will buy at 35, and the next subsequent buys happens when the key levels are triggered, right? So that's a system. But we start buying when the RSI reaches 35, and we will start continue to buy as long RSI doesn't cross over 50 and keep reaching and reaches the new levels, right? So some of the leading indices, sector indexes which are there is XLB. Number one, XLB is a material sector ETF, so it has companies which are dealing with all the materials, industrial materials, other materials. Then XLE, XLE is basically the energy select ETF, so it has oil and gas companies, energy related companies. Then you have XLP, which is another index. Then you have XME. XME is all these indexes have X in front of them because they are from one fund house, but these are very liquid ones. XME is a metals and mining ETF. Then you have other sectors ETFs like this. XHB is the housing sector ETF. So you know we are going to keep our targets 3%. Until we get the 3%, system will keep buying, all will remain long. And in this system, we used to sell when the system reached a key RSI reached 60, 65, right? So we are going to keep our system very simple in this one. We are going to target 3% per transaction 5,000. We'll start buying when the RSI reaches 35, and we'll see how this performs. So first we will take XME. This is the metals and mining sector. Now the system is going to fetch all the data from Google Finance, and this is a Google Finance sheet. Let's see what comes out. So it's kind of fetching the data. It takes time. So I have taken 2 years data. You can even go back and check for 5 years, 6 years, as long as data is there. Now, if you see script, I mean the index gained 30% in last 2 years, and the absolute and this normal system gave us absolute returns of 22%, but XIR of 58%. XIR is the annualized returns that you made on your holding period. And you see, we had average holding period of max holding period of 91 days, average 57, and minimum holding of 33. In this system, there can be some loss-making trades also, right? But in this variation, the new system, we are going to keep the target of profit only 3%, and this is and we will buy and sell as soon as we get 3%. Now you see, you can modify it, you can make it 4%, 5%, 6%, depending on whatever you are trying to achieve. You know, this system gave you a returns of 19% only, but the XIRR was 111%. Now XIRR is again annualized returns, and the average period of the trade came down to only 41 days. Sorry, average period came down to 17 days from 15, 17, 57 days. So this system is a winning system, and the number of times you had to buy, the maximum investment is 10,022. So you had to buy it two times on an average, right? And the entire trade logs and everything the system will give you when the buy triggered, what was the uh, when the buy triggered, daily chart data is there, RSI. You don't have to see any charts or anything. It gives you, tells you when you had to buy, when you had to sell. There are trade logs here, very detailed trade logs will be presented, P&L analysis. Everything is there in the sheet itself. Here are the trade logs. You bought on 15th. What was the close price? Did you buy? Yes. So all these things are available in this sheet. You can just modify this, and you will get the result. Just suppose you did 4%. What difference does it make? Let's see. So we just got 1 day increase. Our XIRR increased to 144% and the average return removed 23%. So this is XME. Let's look at what did XLB did here. So this is a trading system. So in a trading system, your focus is to get in and get out. You're not going to hold it, you know, for a while. That's kind of. So let's see what the XLB, the material sector did, and then we'll look one more and we'll close the video for now. Okay. All right. So in XLB, if you see, in 2 year period, we had maximum investment of 15,000 and the script gain was 16.5%. The absolute profit was 25.34 and the XIRR was 75% with average holding period of trades only 20 days, right? In the normal system, the returns were 41% XIRR because in this system, if the RSI reaches 60, 65, whatever level you have set, you have to sell. And even if it is a loss, you have to sell, right? So this system is still profitable but gives lesser returns compared to XIRR. And this is at 4%. Let's see if we do it at 3%. So 3% the returns went a little bit down. XIRR came down almost 50%, but still the system has made more money and the XIRR is still decent. You know what if you do 5%? Let's see. So in 5% you see, your number of trades increased. You had to buy at least 4 tranches. And the returns also, XIRR came down. Percentage returns I think went up. So you can just play with it and then you just put in a system in place. As traders, we don't want to hang around the positions long term. We just want to get in and get out. So, keeping it at 3% is going to give you good returns. And for some strategies, if you just want a little bit more or less, you can always play with it. Let's see what did XLE, which we already saw. Let's see what is the returns in XLB, XLE, XME. Which one do we? Let's see XLK. XLK is a technology ETF. So in the leading indexes like QQQ and all, this strategy will still work, but the absolute returns might be less because you get in and get out, and while the index can keep going higher. Let's see. Okay, so it went up 87%. The strategy gave you 17, 18%, but the XIRR was 151%, right? You only had to buy it 2 times and you sold it. The average trade duration is 15 days. So in 15 days, you are making 3%. You had to buy it 2 times. So this kind of a strategy you can follow. If you look at another sector ETF, which is XLE, XLE returns, we will just see. Okay, so you see this XLE here. XLE in the new system gave 2 buys you had to buy maximum times, 3% profit target. Index gained 6.5%, you gained 33% with 119% XIRR with average duration of 15 days, max duration of 48 days. So why this happens is that what you are trying to do is you are trying to buy a very highly diversified portfolio in a downtrend, right? And you're buying more when the new levels trigger. And these these ETFs have huge institutional participation. So when they reach a key level, there is a huge buying participation comes in, and and these will have a sharp mean reversion move. So what you are trying to do is this 3% looks very small, especially if you are addicted to trading options and other things, because you are talking about 100%, 200%, 300%. But this system is giving you much better risk adjusted returns when it comes to uh, safety. So if you're looking at this system, you can take a free trial or you can reach out to me and we can talk about it. This system will work best if you're trading ETFs and if you are trading sector ETFs in particular. Thank you guys. If you have any questions, please comment. You can share, you can sign up for a free trial at saraltrader.com, and you can also subscribe to my channel. Thanks.